All our members are here. Michelle Carras is on leave, and I see that Allison Holmes is joining remotely. Allison, could you just unmute and let us know you're participating, please?
Yes, I'm here.
Outstanding. Okay. And in addition to our members, we also have Building Commissioner Caleb Moody and Land Use Clerk Ginger Utah. So again, thank you everyone for attending tonight. Calling this meeting order at approximately 7 p.m. This meeting is being conducted both in person and remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, and which was extended on June 16 of 2021. So we have this hybrid situation, which will continue for the time being. For the public to join remotely by telephone, you may call 1-408-650-3123 and enter access code 942-845-549. Or the public can join via computer at gotomeeting.com/join/942-845-549. The remote access information has been posted on the town's website identifying how the public may join. And also note that this meeting is being recorded by Auburn Cable Television and is available for viewing on the town website. All meeting materials for tonight's meeting have been posted on the town's website. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda. And again, just as a note of caution, for those members of the commission, employees, and members of the public who are participating remotely, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and please take care not to screen share your computer. Otherwise, anything you broadcast may be captured by the recording. So before I turn to the first item on the agenda, I'd like to just set forth some ground rules. Some of you have probably heard those before. In any event, I will go through the list of our agenda items, and I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, I will go down the line of members, asking if any wish to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes, or you will get scolded by Ms. Butow. And for any response, seriously, please wait until I yield the floor to you and state your name before speaking. And then if any members of the commission want to engage in debate, please do so through me and making sure to identify yourself. So after the commission has spoken on any given topic, I will then ask for public comment, and I will ask members of the public who wish to speak to identify themselves by their names and addresses. And I will ask and try to limit everyone to 3 minutes for any comments. And with that, having said that, the first item on tonight's agenda is a 7 p.m. public hearing. Jeffrey Jazz, a notice of intent to build an addition at 5 Willow Street. Is there a motion open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
A second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's a vote.
Aye.
Thank you, Allison. Mr. Jazz. Please come up. So tell us what you want to do, sir.
Well, my intent is to put a 9 by 10 foot 3 addition on my home, and then attach a 24 by 36 foot garage onto that.
Okay.
With storage above.
Okay, and you'll be excavating part of the property?
Yes, for a foundation. There would be a 4-foot frost wall.
All right. How close are you to the wetland, sir?
Well, according to my engineer drawing from Waterman Design, I have scaled it, the corner of the garage to the vegetated wetland, and it's approximately 19 feet.
So you're within the 25-foot no-build zone, correct? You are.
I'm in the buffer zone.
Well, sir, we have a 25-foot no-build zone in the town of Auburn. Did Waterman Design do an alternatives analysis when they prepared their plan?
No, sir.
Okay, well, we don't give variances on our 25-foot no-build zone lightly. We will do it if and I'm speaking solely for myself, but if we believe that there is no feasible alternative to building a project outside of the 25-foot no-build zone, we'll consider it. But if there is a suitable alternative,
Okay.
so that the construction can take place and can be done outside the 25-foot no-build zone, then that's something that we would prefer.
Yes, I attached everything to the home, to my existing house, to try to keep it as far away, excuse me, from the border of vegetated wetland as I possibly could. So the addition is as small as it can be, and if I don't go 24 feet, then I won't be able to get 2 cars in the garage.
I see.
That's the reason I ended up at that dimension.
But you didn't ask them for an alternatives analysis?
No, because I wanted to come, that's why I'm here, to find out if I could get approval on the footprint.
Okay. Well, I think, as you know, Mr. Jazz, if you've seen any of our meetings, and certainly from your prior experience, which was, 20 years ago,
Yeah,
we like to take a look.
sure.
So we normally would ask the applicant to, if they would agree to let us continue the matter until we have a chance to look at the
Absolutely.
site. So if you are so inclined, sir, we would continue this matter, I was going to say till the next meeting, but I think, what do we have on for the 25th? A lot of stuff?
I have 3 new ones that just came in today,
Okay.
and we have 11 Willis that's already continued.
Okay. So what time would we be able to post the job on?
We can put him at, I already have him, I figured we were already going to continue him for
Okay.
7:15.
Okay. And Mr. Jazz, that's acceptable to you?
Yes.
Okay.
I just wanted to add one thing.
Chairman?
Yes, Ms. Holmes.
One thing I just wanted to ask is, it looks like it's, if you see the 25-foot buffer zone and the edge of the garage there, it looks like it's like, 7 or 8, 9 feet away. So if they could please put a stake out there and show us exactly what they mean. And then also, there was some missing information in the application. My preliminary check is that nothing was of concern, but there are questions 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, well, 3, 4, 5, 6 that weren't answered.
They're not checked off.
Yeah, so those could be fixed for
Mr. Jazz, did you complete this form, or did you have Waterman do it for you?
No, my wife and I completed it at our home.
Okay. I think Allison's points are well taken. You may want to consider running this by Waterman. Okay, because there are, and she's absolutely right, there are some categories, sir, that are just not designated. The form has to be filled out correctly.
Oh, okay, well, I was under the impression that it was, so obviously my mistake.
That's all right. So, Allison, any other comments?
No, that was all, just that, so we can see exactly what we're looking at when we go out there, if it's possible, just for a marcation.
Understood. Okay.
Yeah.
Any comment from any member of the board? Tom? No. Megan?
No.
Patrick? No. Kate? Oh, okay. In that case, is there a motion to continue the public hearing for Jeffrey Jazz to 7:15 p.m. On August 25th?
Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, so vote.
Okay, so I just need to go to Waterman. Oh, I want
You should speak, I mean.
speak with them. Well, I want to find out exactly what it is that I missed. That's-
So you should do the, go over the plan, go over the application with them. And we are most likely going to be doing sidewalks this coming Saturday, so if you don't mind, we'll probably stop by around 9 o'clock or so.
Feel free to come anytime you want. That 19-foot dimension I gave you was the closest point of the garage to the brook since it runs on the diagonal.
Right.
If it goes further back, it's further out of the, away from the edge of the vegetated wetland.
Very good. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. All right, the next matter on our agenda is a 7:05 public hearing. Paul and Stephanie Augerson for a notice of intent to build an addition at 23 Hoover Road in Auburn. Is there a motion open?
So moved.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. It's a vote. Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Thank you for having us this evening. I'm sorry?
You're not Outerson, I am.
No,
Oh,
for Hoover, correct?
show the plan, I'm sorry.
Okay. So are you Mr. Anderson?
Yes, sir.
Is this your representative?
No, I don't know who she is.
Diane from
Oh,
Field
Diane.
Resources.
All
We
right.
haven't actually physically met, so.
We went over the phone.
Do you need to be introduced to one another?
Not anymore.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay.
So Diane from Field Resources, I'm here for the homeowner. The
We're sure
homeowner,
about that, right?
yes.
Very good.
So the homeowner is proposing an addition. The addition is going over an existing sunroom. The current lot has, it's the dead end of Hoover Road as it comes down to the end into the Worcester line. There's a perennial stream with a bordering vegetated wetland. The stream actually ties in with a diversion channel quite a ways away, but it does tie into the diversion channel. Again, the existing house has been there and is currently about 39 feet away from the bordering vegetated wetland. And it also has an existing patio. We have a current, a proposed, the sunroom, the existing house, the garage, and the driveway. Currently, Hoover Road basically drains all the way down into this perennial stream. And that's primarily what this is. Again, that's why most of Patchogue Hill all drains out into that diversion channel, as we all know. Most of the yard is existing lawn. We have some planting beds along the garage, around the side of the house, along the wetlands here. This here is kind of crushed stone around the existing patio, and we have another planting bed up here in the middle of the lot. Again, the proposed addition, our alternative was, originally it was moved closer to, as we discussed, closer to the wetland, but we moved it further away over the existing room to reduce any impact to the resource area. Currently, the house daylights from all the downspouts, and our proposal to increase or to improve the resource area, we have a cul-de-sac. This downspout, we're going to recharge into a cul-de-sac system that will reduce the surface flow from the corner of the house. We felt that was more of an impact than necessarily recharging the addition that's further away. It's a pretty straightforward addition. It's over existing lawn. We also have, the one thing I didn't mention is there's a proposed deck as well that is over existing lawn in that area. There's no substantial grading in that area that would be happening for this proposed addition. And it's pretty straightforward.
What's the square feet of the addition?
The square footage of the addition, it's 27 by, 22 by 18, and what's underneath currently is 17 by 12. So the additional impervious is minimal.
And the closest you get to the wetlands?
The existing house is the closest portion, and I believe that's 39 feet.
Okay.
38 feet.
Does any portion of the project go, is it proposed to be built within the 25-foot no build zone?
No. And again, the downspout that we're recharging is the closest point at 39 feet. Currently that daylights, and it's basically a surface flows right into, again, this area is quite slow. So again, that's going to have a substantial improvement to the site.
Okay. All right. Any questions?
You mentioned that there won't be substantial grading. Will there be any grading?
The area that is here is currently flat. Again, the addition is there already. It's minimal, less than a foot.
Allison?
Nothing at the moment, no.
Okay. And as you probably heard me say before, we like to look, so.
Absolutely.
So we'd like to continue, I would like to continue the public hearing, and if we would, Mr. Alderson, like to come and visit on Saturday, if that's okay. We won't make it much noise.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay, all right, very good.
Would you be serving coffee?
No, it's all right, you don't have to service coffee.
Just kidding.
Nice to meet you.
Unfortunately, I am not able to make Saturday morning.
Okay.
I do have plans to be out of town. Is that going to be an issue?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I think we can go there. You know, the plan, I think, is pretty straightforward, so we
Yeah.
should, you know, hopefully, there's no quicksand on the property or anything, so we should
Yeah.
be all set.
Killer dog.
So if you would, maybe bring
Just a
that dog
basset
inside.
hound. Just say hi to her and rub her belly, she'll be fine.
Very good. What time can we continue this to? 7:20?
7:20.
All right, so is there a motion to continue the public hearing to 7:20 on August 25th?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second. Sorry.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, so vote.
Thank you
All right,
so
thank you for coming in, and sir, we will see you on Saturday.
What time?
Probably 9:30 or so.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for coming in, we appreciate it. I understand that the next public hearing was scheduled for 7:10, and that was Tony DeFutis. I understand that Mr. DeFutis has agreed to, or needs to submit some additional documentation, Ginger, is that correct?
Yes.
So that matter will be continued to August 25th?
Yep.
What time?
He is 7:25.
Okay. And is there a motion? Is there a second?
A second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hi, sorry, couldn't get my mute button to work.
No worries. No worries. It's, okay, it's a vote. Very good. The next item on our agenda is a 7:15 public hearing. Request for determination of applicability for an in-ground swimming pool at 12 Newton Street in Auburn. Is there a motion open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Hi.
All right, so vote. Is anyone here for 12 Newton Street tonight?
It probably won't be.
Matt should.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is Matt Morrow. Let me turn my camera on here. I'm here.
All right, so Mr. Murrow, we actually went out 2 weeks ago, and in all honesty, sir, no work should have been done at the property before a request for determination of applicability was filed with us. It was pretty evident from our inspection that there's a stream that runs behind the property, but within 25 feet of the proposed project. We were disturbed by the fact that a significant amount of excavation had been conducted. And as I said before, sir, we've been pretty consistent that before any work is done, whenever work is done, 100 feet of a bordering vegetative wetland within our jurisdiction, a request for determination of applicability has to be filed. None was filed here. Furthermore, since it seemed like the work was actually done within 25 foot and that we have a no-build zone, sir, in this town, we issued an enforcement order. I issued it under my authority, and part of that order is for a notice of intent to be filed. So I don't know, sir, how long it's going to take you to do or to file a notice of intent, but one is going to be required. So if you were looking for an answer on whether positive determination was going to be issued, the answer is yes. And when you feel you're able to file that notice of intent with us, with a plan and with mitigation measures and with an alternatives analysis to building in a 25-foot no-build zone, sir, we will schedule on our agenda. Do you have any questions?
Yes, no, actually, one thing I just wanted to remind the commission of at the previous meeting, I had relayed on the history of the site that the work had been started and that the work was stopped by town officials because of the work going on within the buffer zone. That's when I was called in to file the request for determination.
Right.
The pool installer had a building permit and was under the belief that the stream going behind was a non-jurisdictional swale. So I am gathering all the materials necessary to file a notice of intent. I've actually started the process for that in my office, and should have something for you for your deadline for your next meeting.
All right. And while we're talking about 12 Newton Street, I issued an enforcement order. Is there a motion to ratify the enforcement order?
Make a motion to ratify the enforcement order?
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, so vote. All right, Mr. Merrow, hopefully you can get your application in and we'll see you at the next meeting. Otherwise, we'll see you in September.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then the next item was the 720 public hearing. Jim Fabry, a notice of intent to construct a warehouse and distribution facility at 190 Washington Street, Lot 3.
Mr. Chairman.
I'm
Sorry
sorry?
to interrupt you.
Are we set for next week a time? I mean, in 2 weeks a time?
We're not set because,
Okay.
let me explain what happened. We went out there, we didn't like what we saw, we issued an enforcement order. They have to file a notice of intent, which means that we consider this matter to be within our jurisdiction. They will need to file a plan and other documents.
Yep.
And it's really up to the applicant, Mr. Merrow, I guess on behalf of the property owner, to submit it in time for our next meeting on August 25th. If he does meet the deadline, then it will be on our agenda.
Okay.
And it will be scheduled and there'll be notice of that. Otherwise, it would go over to September.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. If you have any other questions.
No, that was the main question.
All right.
There will be a butter notifications for the filing as well.
Exactly. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And then I understand for the 720 public hearing, when we were here the last time on July 26th, there was an interest by our commission to have a peer review conducted. We did reach out to Graves Engineering, and that is actually in process of being arranged. And so on that basis, it was agreed that the public hearing for Lot 3 at 190 Washington Street will be continued to August 25th. Or is it going to be September? Or do we not have a date?
We don't really have a date yet.
Okay.
Graves said that they would be meeting with you guys hopefully soon.
Okay.
So I'm
That's
hoping.
fine. So I think because we don't have a specific date in mind, we'll just continue it generally, and I'm sure once the peer review is conducted, then we can get it back on track.
Yep.
Okay, very good. I'm going to take some matters just out of order. 90 Tinker Hill Road, Mr. Fan. So it was a request for a certificate of compliance. Several members of the board went out to the property a few weeks ago to look at the construction. The erosion control measures are in place. The grass is coming in nicely, and it appears that, and an as-built plan was submitted to us. It appears that the work that was performed complied with the plan that was submitted with your notice of intent last year. And for that reason, I thought that what you were supposed to do, you did do, which is always nice to see. So, and those are my comments. I think the work you did complies with what you submitted. So, I don't know, Tom, if you have any comments?
No, I agree.
Okay. Allison, any comments?
Nope.
Okay. So, that being the case, is there a motion?
Make a motion, we issue the certificate of compliance
Okay.
for 90 Tinker Hill Road.
And is there a second?
Second that.
Great, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, it's a vote. All right, Mr. Finn, you're all set. A certificate of compliance should go out in the next few days. Awesome, thank you. All right, you're welcome.
Thanks, Jim.
You're welcome.
So there was also a request for a certificate of compliance from 166 Bryn Mawr. Did we get anything?
Yeah.
What did we get?
It wouldn't have been in this packet, it would have been
Last one,
packets, a
right?
couple,
Yep.
Oh, so it's been continued a couple times, huh?
yes,
You can make me look for it.
I am.
I have the as-built with me if you want to see it.
I would love to see it.
Just for the
I have
record,
one in here too.
I am Megan Roach, the attorney for the homeowner who actually technically just sold the property, but we promised that we would clean up the certificate of compliance. So that's what I am doing, hopefully.
Aha.
It's been built for some time.
I was
It's fairly old. It hasn't transferred hands since the person who just sold it 2 weeks ago has owned it since it was its original construction.
When was that?
In 2009, she took the deed. 2009. If you're looking at it from the street, looks like a duplex. Technically, it's a condo. And in 2009, she purchased it. The other side was purchased on the same day, and the same owners have both lived there continuously since then.
Okay.
It does have that big drainage easement in the back for Briar Cliff's water to have somewhere to go. Grass, things like all of those things are, well, you're not going to see the little space. It's been in there for 10 years, yes.
Yeah.
Yep, to my knowledge, I reviewed, and I will admit, orders of conditions are not my expertise, but I did review some of the conditions that were originally put on when the order of conditions was recorded. There was some issues making sure that the abutting neighbor wasn't getting the water. That was corrected in the early years of their ownership. I don't think there's been any complaints to the town since then. If so, we have not been made aware of it. They do maintain it. They do come yearly. They always have. There's a lot of houses up there, so they get a lot of action. But the order says that maintenance, the condition to maintain yearly, continues whether or not I get the compliance or not. That condition will remain with it.
Okay.
Do you want the order? I have the order of conditions.
I'd
Do
like
you
to
want
see it.
that? Yeah, absolutely, sure. It's just a copy from the registry, but I have a copy.
I can
You got it? Sure.
if you guys need.
Yeah, issue 07, actually. Yes.
I don't need my copies. I have plenty at the office.
That
So.
explains it.
I can
wasn't
make
present
more
for that
copies.
meeting. And I was county commission at the time.
It's an old one. It's an old one. We're not usually tracking them down this old, but
Copies and send them out to you guys.
Where the heck was I? I mean, I've been on the commission for 25 years, so. But
the
I-
one meeting that you've missed.
Well, I've missed a couple, but not too many. She said
Caleb says maybe 2 in 25 years.
he wasn't here in 2009, so he doesn't know. Thank you.
And so our unit on the, just to be clear, on the as-built,
sorry.
we're 166B. Of course, the condition itself is on the whole lot, the whole property. So even though 166A is not being transferred or sold, I'm hoping to clear it up so that they won't have a problem when they go to sell. And the owner who just bought it obviously wants to make sure that it was cleared up off the title.
So are they going to sell?
166A has no plans to sell right now. 166B, the transfer was done on July 2nd, and we couldn't, Ginger and I worked to find the as-built. Finally, we found it, thanks to some research.
I remember because
Yes.
we asked for it, and then luckily.
We didn't have it at first, but then, yeah, we found it, dug out the old file and found it, so, yeah.
Can we keep this, or do you need?
Of course, nope, you can,
I can send more out to you guys.
yeah, and I have everything saved in the office anyway, so you can keep whatever you need.
Okay, very good. All right. I'm satisfied. Any questions?
Where is, there aren't buffer lines or wetland boundaries on this, are there? That I'm not seeing it.
On the as-built, I don't, let me see.
We don't have the original filing, do we?
That, no.
Okay.
No, we had to dig for it. They never submitted it.
They never submitted a.
They never submitted an as-built plan to us. No, we
Well,
had,
no, I'm sorry, not an as-built, but when they filed the actual original notice of intent, there must have been a plan that went with it, right? Is that file lost
I
in?
could, yeah, I couldn't find
The
it.
depths of the
It's
building?
pretty old, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
You look substantial.
yeah, I did.
Yeah, you're right. So the buffer, it doesn't, on this plan, it doesn't show. You can see like the easement is this sort of big section. I know you guys typically visit, so if you want to visit, it makes a little bit more sense, I think, when you're actually out there than when you're looking at that, but.
Because I like I told you, I don't remember the filing at all, and again, I wasn't present, so that would explain, I think. I think it probably, but it's a caution because we can't find the plan that was submitted with the notice of intent to take a look. So
Sure.
I'm pretty confident we can probably get that done this weekend or certainly before our next meeting.
Sure.
And what we can do is this, we can continue this until the meeting on August 25th. You probably don't even need to come back. If there's no issue, and I don't expect there would be, then we'll put it on.
I'll keep in touch with Ginger.
You can contact
Sure.
Ginger, okay?
Sure.
So I appreciate you coming in tonight.
Sure, and if it issues, the original is here, I can just send someone to pick it up. Will record it at the registry of deeds just to clear it up for once and for all, but I'll send somebody up to grab it.
Okay.
Okay?
No problem.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Okay.
Whoever needs a copy of that plan, let me know, I'll email it to you.
This is my copy.
Yeah, so I can look exactly what packet that would have been in and let you know. Okay.
The next item is 23 Boyd Street. Folks may remember back in April, that actually this has been our agenda for quite a while. And then I was able to make it out to the site. And if you look at the pictures, some individual decided they were going to channel the stream by putting in what appeared to be wooden pallets. That was not done with our knowledge or permission, certainly. And so we issued an enforcement order. The property owner hired Mr. Gorlowski. And frankly, I'm surprised Mr. Oh, you're there. Hello.
Oh, hi. I snuck right in.
Where were you?
Just now. I just walked in.
You just popped in?
Right, yeah.
Excellent timing.
Thank you.
Excellent timing. So
Thank you.
anyway, tell us what you're going to do, Glenn.
We outlined it in a report, which
Yes.
happens to be in the car because I have Commonwealth on me and not that one.
That's all right.
I must have. So these pallets, the straight up pallets, we looked at it. It's dry today. We did get photos of it today, and so we planned on taking with wheelbarrows the dirt that's piled up on the, if we're looking at that photo on the left hand. Thank
Did you need that?
Well, I appreciate it very much on the left-hand side, and remove the pallets as we move from the lower part of the pallet area, coming back towards the house. And again, there'll be 3 laborers working on that, and we'll take it back down to the original A horizon. We'll use hose and shovels and not go into the old substrate. I'll be overseeing it. And then they want me to define the boundary of the wetland back towards the yard so they don't do this again or encroach into wetlands. So I'm going to give them some wetland flags up in the back.
Do you know how deep the pallets were inserted in?
I did look under them. They're shallow. They're just to the surface of that A horizon, but the dirt on the opposite side of the intermittent stream is what he used to pile up against there to hold the brook into that channel that we see now.
Right.
Once I remove that dirt, I'm going to be seeing if that was a braided stream channel. If there's any braids coming off of it, then we're just going to reestablish those braids.
Okay. And how long do you think it'll take you to get it done?
2 days. 2 days at the max. And again, there was still water at the beginning up near the road, but it was dry for the whole pallet duration area today. So the water table's dropping quickly now that it stopped raining. Since July.
All right. So I think the plan would be then that after the work is done, you'll take more photographs and come back and see us.
I'm going to take photos as we're going along, and any again, grade that comes off it that I recognize, I'll identify it. We'll probably put a stake there just to show that it was meandering out. Low gradient, organic, and sands that came off the road. So I anticipate that it braided a bit. But it wasn't evident when we're facing the photo on the left-hand side that it did braid out.
So, do you want to put this on for our first meeting in September?
Please, and we'll have it done by then.
Okay. What day is that?
September 8th.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And, you know, if you want to submit photographs and a report before then, obviously that would be great.
I will do that. And thank you for lending me this.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And then I think you were also here for 10
Commonwealth, right. And I just left Staples for the plans because we didn't have hard copies. That's what I was just running in. So on this project, when you're ready for me,
Sure, go ahead.
I know this is the third rendition. The first people backed out, there was a revision, and then when the clients found out that bringing, and they should have known this up front, Summit Engineering is working along with Mike Conan, but anything over 500 cubic yards coming in would trigger an earth removal or earth deposition. And so they wanted to avoid that special permit, so they cut back their fill to under 500 cubic feet. It was at 1,000.
Right.
No encroachment towards the wetland, no more encroachment than we had. The erosion controls are in the same location.
So how steep is the driveway going to be?
It conforms to your zoning requirements for driveway. The fill was more, the retaining walls, the neighbor was concerned that we were going to go on his property, if you recall, standing on the road facing in on the left-hand side, and his name might have been Darche. We're showing that we're off his property. We use retaining walls instead of fill, and that's what you're seeing on the revised plan. And the driveway, if we see the grading, it begins at, see, there's 105. It doesn't, now there's that same garage that we called up for on the second plan. So there's only, as we look at this, there's only a shallow grade change to the driveway. There's two-foot contour, so it's a 4-foot drop over. It's a 1:20 plan. So from the roadway, it is the 35 feet to the garage opening, and that over 4 feet, that doesn't become a, so if it was 40, that'd only be 2-foot drop every 20 feet. It's not a steep driveway.
All right.
I rounded up, I understand it was 35, but from the actual pavement, it's 40 feet. I'm going from the town ownership. So from the pavement, or if we call it pavement, I think this is partially dirt, it's 40 feet in and it's a 4-foot drop. So 2 feet drop, or 1 foot drop per every 10 feet.
Okay. I thought it would have been steeper than that, but in any event.
195.
So wait, are they actually bringing fill in to raise up, they're going to be bringing fill in to raise up the foundation and also up both the garage and the house, correct?
Correct. But it's going to be a steep wall on the back side of the house, and you can see the post grading, the 3-to-1 slopes once we get off the driveway. 3-to-1 slopes. If you're going into the property, on the right-hand side, there's 3-to-1 slopes. On the left-hand side of the house, it'll be 3-to-1 slopes. So now it's just steeper side slopes along the house foundation itself.
All right.
But SCS or NRCS, as you know from the past, which is referenced in the wetland regulations, you're allowed to create 2-to-1 maximum, 3-to-1 as a recommended earthen slopes in the buffer zone. So we're not exceeding that 2-to-1, which anything over 2-to-1 we would be armoring, or 6-inch minus, or large boulders. So, but we're at 3-to-1. So it is steep side slopes, but acceptable under the reg.
Let me ask you this. are we able to basically incorporate the new plan with our current order of conditions without having to modify the current order of conditions?
That's what we plan on doing. If you do accept it that way as a minor project change, we would give you the as-built as required when we build, to show that we built this thing according to the latest plan that we just gave to you.
But, I mean, you said part of the slope is going to be armored, you said?
No, I said if we were steeper than 2 to 1, we would have to armor, but we're not. We're 3 to 1, so it's allowed, 3 to 1. 3 to 1 recommended as steep as that. 2 to 1, they don't allow anything steeper to that. And after 2 to 1, you would have to go with armoring or riprap.
So how are you going to stabilize the slope, just grass or?
We're going to put jute netting along on the 3 to 1 slope while we stabilize with seed under it. So both slopes to the right and left of the house, or as we're looking at this plan, it is that would be to the east and west side of the house. There would be jute netting on the 3 to 1 slopes.
Okay.
And again, you can see that the erosion controls, where still the house itself, back from the wetland, is still 80 feet from the wetland.
Right.
The house was still quite a bit up. A 30-foot setback would be a zoning, and we're at the setback.
Okay, very good. Any questions from the board?
This was, I guess this came up before I was on the commission?
Yes.
So this is new construction, completely new?
Yes, ma'am. It was an old gravel pit in this area. This is a Hinckley type of soil, so very porous, accepts the water very well. And that's why we have these steeper slopes, so that we're looking at it, because it had been a pit probably in the 50s or 60s.
It's basically a bowl,
Okay.
you know, so.
Right.
Okay. Any questions, any other questions?
This is Allison. I was wondering about the erosion controls that you're planning for this with those steep slopes. Is any of that being beefed up at all?
If I could, to Allison, yes, we're jute netting the 3 to 1 slopes on the east and west side of the house. That's where we find the steep slopes. Behind the house, we have gentle slopes, 95, 93. If we're looking at the plan, so we're only dropping from the back of the house. Again, it's 80 feet to the wetland. We're staying 25 feet as we respect the 25-foot zone. You're no touch. And anywhere where we do have 3 to 1 slopes, we are going to be jute netting. That's what I can also say. So if you need us to beef up our erosion controls right now, are both, this would be installed by S&M Farms out of Fitchburg, which is entrenched silt fence, and the wattles are embedded. So one of our best people to do silt fence hay bales is S&M, and that's who we'll use always on any projects that I have, because they do it. They're professional installers.
Good. Okay.
Ditch witch, get it in the ground 5 to 6 inches, and again, with a very porous soil, we expect, as it has been, that the water goes readily. And this is not a till soil; it's a hydrologic soil, okay, coarse gravel.
Okay. Allison, any other questions?
Great. No.
Okay, great. Any comment from the public? All right, there being none, it's not really a motion to close, because I guess we've heard everything that you want to submit. Do you have any other comments?
We did apply for, some people and some boards do call them insignificant project change or minor project change, and that's what we asked the commission to look at it, if we could accept it as that. And again, our give back will be, as always, is to give you the as-built to show that we built exactly what we said. And the only add-on would be the jute netting on the 3 to 1 slopes to make sure they're stable before we leave them.
Got it. Okay, terrific. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you again for your time. Thank you that I just made it here in moments. Yeah. Well, I was telling that Staples, I was going, well, how are you going, Glenn? Well, I got 6 minutes to be there. So thank you again. I'm sorry for being running like that. Have a good day. Appreciate it.
Okay. Next item on our agenda is 490 Rockdale Street. So, members from DEP went out there along with Tom and Darlene. I thought that we had actually been going for the last meeting. Yeah, that's what I thought. So basically, at this point, DP pretty much is ready to sign off on it.
Yep.
We're still, I think, weighing the whole issue of getting the Worcester District Court to reconsider the issue of fines. They have to schedule a public hearing. They haven't done that yet, but I imagine that will happen. What I think it would be worthwhile, we haven't had very good communication with the property owner, but they were represented by Scott Morrison at Ecotech, and so I was thinking that maybe a letter or a call to Mr. Morrison, just letting him know that the trampoline has to come out in that area where the trash is needs to come out. That might be fruitful. So I will make arrangements to send, either contact him by telephone or by letter. Okay. And then the last matter on our agenda is 71 Curtis Street.
You have the amended agenda that has 37 Mill Street on there
sorry.
also. 17 Willis? No, 17 Willis has been pushed off because they need to have a peer review. So it was stated at the last meeting that they were going to be pushed off to the next.
My concern was that they had a planning meeting yesterday.
Their planning meeting yesterday was also pushed off.
Okay, because I couldn't attend that, that's why I was...
That meeting was pushed off because of their peer review that they're having done through us.
Is it possible to add anything to that file? Because I just want you guys to know that there's at least one endangered species back there that I know of, because praying mantises are an endangered species and they're all back there. Okay. And then there's an owl in the trees that they propose to take down. And I'm a little concerned about that because that's his home and he's a big guy. So big that I have to be concerned about the little dog that we have. Yeah.
I don't know if that would be within the peer review or not. I'm not sure.
That was the only thing that I wanted to bring up during that, because they had to propose the plan to cut down the trees and...
Ginger, the public hearing's been continued, right?
Yes, it has.
So you'd have to be able to voice concerns at the public meeting.
When is
It's really not fair to do it now.
That is
I agree.
the next meeting, which is the 25th.
The 25th of August?
August.
Okay, what day is that, you know?
It's a Wednesday.
Okay.
So,
Okay, I'll be here then.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
you're welcome.
17 actually got continued to the September 8th meeting, I believe.
Oh, September
I got
8th.
my agenda from last meeting. Yeah,
September
because of the
8th?
peer review was September 8th.
Okay, right, so
Yeah.
September 8th. So, which is a Wednesday. It's the first Wednesday of September. Or the second Wednesday of September.
After Labor Day.
Yes, it would be after Labor Day. Yeah.
Great.
So,
Mrs., you have a question?
Yeah, we have a question on the form, because we don't know what you're talking about.
No, I understand what you're talking about. I didn't ask when I was up there, so I apologize. Those areas that are incomplete, they do not apply. So they still needs to be filled out though, correct? Even though it doesn't apply.
I think you need to consult with a specialist just to make sure that everything is complete.
Okay, I will do
So
that.
just give them a call and I'm sure they can answer your
Yes,
questions.
that's all I wanted to know. Thank you very
We
much.
filed with the state, and we got a number and everything.
That
Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter, not really.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot for the clarification.
Sure. So we have two complaints. One is 71 Curtis Street, and then there's 37 Mill Street, which was just added. So for 71 Curtis Street, actually walked the site on Monday, and there's no question that there's a lot of tree cutting in the area. What wasn't apparent to me is whether any of the tree cutting was within the buffer zone. And I can tell you, I walked through Kevin Marmer's backyard, and that was wet. And the area behind his house is wet, but the area behind 71 Curtis Street, there's no obvious wetland. I mean, so I'm advised also, Ginger, you told me this, that they have filed a request for determination of applicability in 18. We found a negative determination of applicability, but they did not do any work in the 3 years, and now that request for determination is now expired.
Mm-hmm.
Did we issue an enforcement order in that?
No, we did not.
So
No, because you wanted to do the site visit first.
I did, and again, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's extensive tree cutting there, as the pictures indicate. But there was nothing that was obvious to me that there was a will and encroachment. Caleb, I don't know if you want to...
I didn't get a chance to go over there.
So I don't know who actually provided those other pictures.
Did Gary go or Darlene?
No, those pictures that I have,
Yes,
those are from,
Mr. Mahan?
Mr. Marhart?
yeah.
Okay, so I think they need to file another request for determination, in all
Yeah.
honesty, because obviously they have plans for that property, but they didn't act within that 3-year window.
Right.
So I would suggest sending them a letter asking them, or saying that they need to file another request for determination because the original request has expired, or the determination has expired.
Yep.
So is there a motion?
Do we also want them to reflag the wetlands from 3 years ago that they filed?
Well, do we have the file from 3 years ago? That's it? Oh boy, you're right on top of this.
Yeah. This is the plan from when they filed for the subdivision that they used when they filed with you, okay?
All right.
That's the access road. This is what I'm thinking that they're clearing out. That's their 100-foot buffer.
So you think they're just starting the project now?
I believe so. And they did file their extension with planning board last year.
Okay.
So
I still think they need to file with us.
correct.
So-
Yes.
So Allison, I think your point is well taken. I think they do need to reflag the wetlands, especially given that the scope of work is actually pretty significant. That would also account for I mean, they're doing extensive cutting back there. So, okay, is there a motion?
Yes, I'll make a motion that we request the property owner to refile RDA with us.
And probably, maybe even, they may submit the same plan, but I think they have to reflag the wetlands because it has been 3 years. Is that part of your motion?
On my motion, yes.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
I'll second.
No, we're gonna give it to Kate. Is there?
No problem.
All right, is there any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, it's a vote, so I'll send out a letter to the applicant.
Mike, do you recall when we went on that walk that time? There was a ravine way in the back. It was really cool, like a waterfall. It was way in the back. It was
Yes.
probably like over here. That's what, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, I remember going there.
That was,
Yeah, it's a good chunk of land.
yeah, it's a very good chunk of land. Again, it's interesting that they have just started doing work on it now. Okay, that makes sense. And then finally, I think it's finally,
Yes.
close to finally, there was a complaint about 37 Mill Street. Apparently, grindings have been dumped. And the pictures that were taken show that they do encroach. They are within the buffer zone and they encroach on the wetlands.
That's when they first put the piles.
Do we know who did it?
Dolphin Pool Company.
They did it.
They're right up
Russell, John Russell.
next to, this is a bridge right here
Right.
with a stream.
They
And
own
they
this,
did it
they own
right
that
up to
steel
the
storage
bridge.
building.
Let me get the, oh, it's not in here.
There is a concern that part of those grindings are on town-owned land as well.
Right.
What is it, crushed stone? What is it?
It's what it is ground up asphalt.
Oh, okay.
When they pulverize the roads, they use the ground up asphalt.
So they're looking basically just kind of level out their parking lot.
I saw the file for the original site plan and the parking lot really didn't exist on that side. So it's just kind of appeared over the years.
Gotcha. Interesting how that happens.
Seems to be growing.
Okay.
Natural parking lot.
Yeah.
You went out there?
Gary went out. I haven't been out there.
But Gary found an encroachment, right?
He believes that they encroached on the,
I think we need to take a look.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
let
I
me
will.
add that to our second
was
look
it?
on Saturday.
I can
And then at
show
that
you.
point, if, if we see a violation, we can issue an enforcement order.
37. All right, so here's,
If you go to the layers, the original parking lot was here in the front,
yep,
and this was grass, and then I think it was here, and it
yeah, so.
keeps just
that's-
growing towards,
Yeah, so that's his spot, and then this here is
I
town.
think if you go to the 2009 GIS, it'll show the original. Go to layers. GIS here. No, it doesn't really show it.
Dirt.
Yeah, the original plan is just for parking here
Yeah,
on this
actually,
this
yeah,
side
have
of the
it.
building. That was from 99, so the building's been there for quite some time. So I don't know.
I have a site plan right here that shows the parking lot and driveway in the front.
Again, that's 20 plus years old, so I don't, I don't know when the parking lot grew or.
There are some towns that consider that impervious too.
Yeah, it states on that site plan that it's supposed to be impervious.
Oh, yeah.
Impervious.
It says,
It says impervious
It says
on that
impervious.
site plan. It's supposed to be
I'm
impervious.
saying sometimes that crushed asphalt is considered impervious.
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
There's no paved.
well, definitely.
But yeah, he put it right up to the bridge.
And was this submitted to us? Did Dolphin Pools file notice of intent with the commission? I'm just wondering where you got the site plan from.
That's
Adam.
a planning file
That's
from
the
planning,
99.
yeah.
I couldn't find any conservation filings.
I mean, I don't recall it. I wouldn't expect to recall it, but, I mean, this doesn't, what's interesting is that it shows an aquifer zone, but it doesn't show any wetlands at all. And that, like you say, that makes sense that would be submitted to the planning board.
Yeah, it leads
Yeah.
me to believe that the
Yeah, I just did this so that way
We
we
don't want
could
those
see.
cars being parked right next to the wetland either.
Yeah, let's take a look on Saturday and then let's see what we see and then we can hopefully make some determinations.
Isn't it actually the pond right behind those trucks?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's also something to consider too. So with respect to 10 Commonwealth Avenue and the modification that's been proposed, what are your feelings about that?
I think it's a minor modification.
I think
As he submits the plan.
I think we can just we did issue an order of conditions for that. I think actually there's probably less of an environmental impact or wetland impact with the revised plan. And as Mr. Kravosky indicated, so I think we can incorporate by reference the new plan, and but we should also make a reference that that jute netting will be used on the 3-to-1 slope. Seems to me. But again, it's something that, since it's a modification of the planning, it's going to need to be recorded. So I'm trying to think if we've ever really done that before.
not with me, you haven't. Since I've been here.
All right. But there must be a way to do it though. We'll have to figure it out. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
So is there a motion?
I make a motion that we accept the modifications, a minor modification, subject to reference to the new plan,
Okay.
and I guess having it recorded.
Well, this would be the use of jute netting on the 3-to-1 slope as well. And yeah, I mean the existing order of conditions is going to have to be changed or modified. So again, we'll have to figure that out.
Okay, yeah, I can figure it out.
All right. So there's a motion from Tom. Is there a second?
Second?
Okay. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, so vote. Very good. So is there any other business?
I'd like to schedule some time for us to discuss the special conditions,
Okay.
especially before we have the hearing on 190 Washington Close.
Well, I don't think the 25th is going to work. because we have a full agenda on the 25th. Do you want to do it on September?
No, we should do it on another day for sure.
So you don't want to do it on a regularly scheduled commission day?
Well, like you said, I think it'll be a long meeting already, so we don't want to
What do we
kill
have?
ourselves.
But you think, so 1/9, do you think is going to be on the agenda for September 8th?
For September 8th?
Yes, or is it going to be on, because I don't think, it's not currently scheduled. We have to meet with the consultant on the site, and we
Right.
need to get their report. They're going to want to have an opportunity to comment on it depending on what his findings are.
I was wondering about like a Wednesday, like the first or third Wednesday, or just another Wednesday other than our normal meeting.
Right, because
Wednesday.
the last meeting you guys had said you weren't going to do it during a meeting, you were going to do it other than a meeting because meetings seem to be piling up.
Right.
So you were going to do it other than a meeting day.
You know, I hate it when you do that. When you basically quote back to me what I said.
Sorry, I didn't say that. Right?
No, it's fine. I'm joshing.
I know you are.
Well, in that case, do we want to try to meet next Wednesday? Allison?
Hold on, I think that one. Wednesday, the 18th. Yes, that works for me.
Okay. You know, we all have busy lives. If I would encourage you to join us if you can. Shall we do it at 7 o'clock?
Sure.
Okay. We'll be able to find a room, don't you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, very good.
There's a room on the 3rd floor if we have to.
Okay. All right, so let's plan on doing that then. We'll go over the special conditions. I think we can be pretty efficient and probably get it done within an hour or so.
Yeah, definitely would help if people take some time beforehand to look at them.
To actually read them.
Yeah.
I agree.
If anybody needs another copy of them, let me know and I can send them out to you.
Okay. So for this Saturday, again, I encourage all of you that can attend to join us. We're going to go to 5 Willow Street, 23 Hoover Road, 37 Mill Street, and what am I missing? 166 Bryn Mawr Road.
So not necessarily in that order, right?
No, not no. I think what we did is, I think we told Mr. Jazz we would be at his house around 9 o'clock.
Conditions?
On Saturday, so we'll start with that and we'll look at it and see what
It should be in
more
that
efficient
packet that I
in
sent
terms
you.
of
If you don't find them, just
making
let me
these
know.
site visits. Okay?
Good.
Perfect. Is there any other business?
I just had one more question about the special conditions. So I know the thing you said, it was like sample special conditions?
Yes.
Is that the proposed?
They were some that Allison had gotten from the state. She had done some of the classes that the state had.
Okay.
And they had some that we don't have on our
I gotcha.
special conditions, so she pulled them from that.
Okay. Gotcha.
So she wanted to go over what they had because some of them are pretty good.
Okay.
So maybe incorporate some of them into what we have.
Okay. And then our special, but, okay. Were our current special conditions in the packet you gave me?
Yes, I did give you our current special
Can we send
conditions.
them if you need?
Yeah, whatever you
I'll
don't
check, I'll
have.
check and make sure.
We have a cheat sheet and we'd be happy to share that with you.
Oh, wait, I do have that. I do have
Yeah.
that. Yes, I do have that. Okay.
And, you know, we've added them over time, but I think anything that can make us more efficient would be great. Okay, if, Gil, do you have anything?
I do not.
All right. So if there is no new business, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, so vote. All right.